Man, I would love to sit here and tell you that what you're about to see that came out of the Columbus Police Department, or any police department for that matter, is rare and it hardly ever happens. But if you got your head screwed on straight and you're interested in just a little bit of truth, you realize that these aren't rare occurrences. Check this out.
We are learning new details about two separate incidents that led to the firing of two Columbus police officers. One involves a sexual encounter in a supermarket. We will tell you more about that in just a moment. But
Imagine my shock. An inappropriate interaction between cops and a member of the public the cops are supposed to be there to protect and serve the public, and they almost always do the opposite.
Begin with newly released body camera video of the violent arrest of a teenager, which led to the other officer losing his job. NBC4's Anna Hoffman is here to walk us through that video. Anna, you got some answers from Chief Elaine Bryant.
I did, Carrie. The first incident we're going to show you happened on February 19th. It involves now former officer Donovan Bieber and a 14-year-old boy.
Former officer who was only fired. He's not being tried. He's not in jail. His assets haven't been liquidated and given to the victims. He's only been fired.
Elaine Bryant says this happened in the Linden area. She says Beaver and his partner decided to make a traffic stop on teenagers walking across the street. I will show you body camera video from this incident in just a moment. I will warn you, it is graphic because, as you will see, this traffic stop turns violent quickly. Now is the time to turn away if you do not want to see it. The chief walked me through this video step by step. I asked her how these incidents make her feel. She says it's troubling.
It angers me. I'm disappointed.
These are the words Columbus Police Chief Elaine Bryant used to describe the body camera video you are about to watch.
It's troubling. What you're about to see is absolutely criminal. If you or I did what you're about to see these cops do to these kids, little kids, we would be in jail, no questions asked. No investigation. We already got the video. What do we need to investigate? Everybody sees clearly what happened. It's troubling.
This is from February 19th in the areas of East 11th and St. Clair Avenues around 4 p.m. In this dash camera video, you can hear now former officer Donovan Beaver and his partner talking. They see teenagers from a distance. And in your opinion, what were they doing?
They were walking in the street, doing what kids do.
5'8", put us out of Lowe's in St. Clair with a couple of pedestrian violators.
The officers decide to make a traffic stop. The officers say over the radio for pedestrian violators.
Let's chat.
You can see the teens start to run. Beaver's partner gets out to follow them.
Given what we know about the history of cops in all departments, in all areas of the country, I think running is your best bet. Man, let's see, do I want to stay and possibly be tased and tortured and tormented and kidnapped and fingerprinted and body cavity searched and possibly dying? Or should I make a break for it and probably have a good chance of outrunning a donut cop?
Officer Beaver keeps driving in his cruiser. Soon after, the video shows both officers are running to stop the teens. Beaver airs over the radio, "We have them at gunpoint."
They have kids who've literally done nothing wrong but crossing the street, pursuing what looks like life, liberty, and happiness, and they've drawn their guns on a bunch of kids? You've got to be kidding me, no pun intended. Now, YouTube won't let me show you this part except some screenshots, but this is where level-headed protector and servant Officer Beaver forcefully pushes his victim, making sure his head makes contact with the ground several times as he holds his arms behind him. The officer says, "If you move, I'll break your face." The kid says, "Okay, I'm complying," but that wasn't enough. Officer Beaver's body cam shows that he pulls the teen back to his car by his hair with his hands cuffed behind his back. So demeaning. Look at the shadows here. Got the kid he's already got him cuffed. He's subdued. All he has to do, he shouldn't be in this position anyway, this kid, because he clearly did nothing wrong. The only criminal activity that we see on video is done by men in costumes. But you can see by that shadow right there, just completely demeaning, dehumanizing, demoralizing. It's kind of like when they say, here, sit on that curb while we sort things out, you dog.
Beaver keeps aggressively talking to the teen, then shoves him in the wagon. And you hear another officer ask Beaver, "Are you okay?"
Are you okay?
As chief of this.
Are you okay? Every cop involved in this should not only have been fired, should not only have been charged for criminal activity, but they should be jailed.
Division. What are your thoughts?
It angers me. I'm disappointed. I'm angry. I'm frustrated because this is not what we stand for. What I will tell you is that
that's a lie. I'm going to demonstrate that to you in a second. These aren't isolated cases within the Columbus Police Department.
there was nothing that I saw that would justify all of it. He didn't get fired just for the specific use of force. It was the totality of the circumstances in its entirety. Why you're stopping them, why the excessive force.
I asked the chief if
But why did he only get fired? Why didn't he get charged for criminal activity, for violating a minor, for abusing a child? Why didn't he go to jail? Why didn't his assets get liquidated so that you can pay the victims instead of, because you know there's going to be a lawsuit on this. But the taxpayers are going to pay for it? Why doesn't this guy and all the other cops who should be fired and their assets liquidated, why don't they pay for it? The totality of the circumstances. We're talking about criminal activity. Could you imagine if every UPS driver, what if UPS drivers were known for committing crimes in daylight on camera, but when they did it while they were wearing their brown uniforms, they had this qualified immunity, and the worst that could possibly happen to them is they could get fired? The nation would be outraged. Why do cops get away with it?
this brings up concerns about the rest of her officers.
The majority
A frickin' man. But listen to what she says. The majority what?
of our officers have great relationships with this community. I get a lot of compliments about the work that the officers do.
As for the 14
You get a lot of compliments, huh? Well, let's look over at the Columbus Division of Police Facebook page here. They are scoring currently a 2.4 out of 5 on their rating scale right here on Facebook. This person right here, one of the first ones, not recommending it. They're a bunch of thugs on a power trip. They love brutalizing peaceful protesters and sexually assaulting them through unconstitutional strip searches of young women while male officers stare on. They're a bunch of sick racists and perverts. Look, this person says, this is one who refused to provide his badge number after he demanded my ID and wrote down my address. I'm afraid he will rape and murder me. He is so unhinged. I mean, there's not just a couple of comments like this. I was kidnapped when walking to the store to grab my ex-neighbor's cigarettes. Instead of help, I was accused of lying about having an assistant. While bleeding everywhere from jumping out of the vehicle, the person who kidnapped me, that's the cops, later in another case, got a statement from a neighbor about a burglary done at my home, allegedly by a maintenance man, and did nothing with the information. This one right here says, for falsely accusing and arresting a sober bus driver for OVI. And that's this right here. If you haven't seen this video, the Columbus Police Department take this woman through her paces by conducting a roadside field sobriety test, which they say she failed. And most of the people in the comment section, you can see the high dislike ratio. Most of the people in the comment section, a lot of people, ex-officers, are saying, hey, that lady was completely sober, in my opinion. So this woman lost her job, went to jail, got arrested, got body cavity searched, and turns out she was completely sober. Or how about this guy right here? This is Robinson, badge number 3230, who ran into Cult News. And if you're not familiar with Cult News, this is Cult News right here. And Cult News lets us know that the cop threatened to arrest him for filming on the public sidewalk, which is a First Amendment protected activity, because he failed to give his ID. In other words, the cop, Robinson, was trying to make Cult News insecure in his person by requesting his ID under the threat of arrest. So it's not just a few. I mean, we've got incident after incident, post after post. We've got a horrible like rating, horrible review rating on their own Facebook page. And she's going to sit here and try to convince us that it's an isolated incident and that this doesn't reflect the overall mentality of her officers in the Columbus Police Department.
Relationships with this community. I get a lot of compliments about the work that the officers do.
As for the 14-year-old, Chief says she has spoken to his grandmother.
They were disappointed about the actions of the officers, but they were relieved and happy with the swift action that the department and the director of public safety took in addressing this issue.
Oh, swift action like this right here? This right here is body cam footage of one of their officers. Her first name is Kelsey. I think they say the name in this little news story right here. But here is the body cam footage of this officer, Kelsey, whatever her name is, telling an 11-year-old child that she may be brought up on child pornography charges because of things that she has on her phone after the dad called the police to come and try to help him.
2 Columbus police officers responded to that home more than 4 hours later. Shortly after, the man who called answered the door. This is the interaction that has now gone viral. It was sent to us by Columbus police, who have redacted the video of the conversation but left the audio in place.
I do so bad now. It's very costly, obviously.
Well, it still happened though, right?
Yeah, I just the whole point. I just wanted to go through where we talked to her. And I just want her to realize what this was. I mean, reality is not much you guys can do about it, is it?
I mean, she could probably get charged with child porn.
Ooh, she can?
She's creating it, right? Doesn't matter. She's still making porn.
No, she's not. She's being nippy with it by grown ass and doll.
Is she taking pictures though?
Here's something I see.
Keep back.
So he cut off the conversation. You guys have a nice evening. Get out of here. It's clear that you're not here to help me. You're here to just criticize and condemn my own daughter. An 11-year-old girl who's manipulated by a grown male, a grown man, and the officer's going to come along and say, well, your daughter could face child porn charges. But listen to what Chief Elaine has to say about this.
That's serious.
As those 2 officers walk away, one makes a comment.
She's taking pictures of herself naked. She's creating child porn. Is that wrong? Nope.
I spoke with Columbus Police Chief Elaine Bryant today on camera for the first time since the incident.
Every victim of crime deserves to be treated with dignity, compassion, and decency. What I saw in that video did not reflect those actions.
Bryant says as soon
What I saw in the video didn't reflect those actions. Okay, so what actions did you take, Elaine, Chief Elaine? Well, look what it says. A review of a Columbus police officer's actions when she threatened to criminally charge an 11-year-old with child porn charges concluded there was no evidence of misconduct. Interesting. Back to Elaine in this particular incident.
They were disappointed about the actions of the officers, but they were relieved and happy with the swift action that the department and the director of public safety took in addressing this issue.
But it was not the swift, appropriate action, because the appropriate action would be, wait a second, my officer committed a crime. We're going to go to the district attorney and we're going to bring up charges of the crime he committed. And this guy is not only going to lose his job, he's going to go to jail, and we're going to see to it that we liquidated all of his assets, including his pension, and we're going to give them to the parents of this 14-year-old victim.
Chief Bryant says Beaver was relieved from duty the next day and was officially fired this week. According to his personnel file, Beaver joined the department in 2020.
The chief was very candid about that situation, but you also talked to her about the other officer who she fired.
Oh, there's another officer who just got fired? I wonder what he did.
I did, Carrie. That's right. Chief Bryant says that Robert Spann, he was also fired earlier this week because he was caught on camera performing sexual acts with a Kroger employee, and this was all while he was working special duty at that store. According to the records,
don't worry, Chief. We're involved in special duty at the Kroger.
This happened between August 15th and September 28th of 2023. Police have not specified which Kroger where this happened. Chief Bryant says a complaint was filed with the Inspector General's office in October. According to documents, the act was consensual. The chief says the Inspector General turned that case back over to the division. Following disciplinary hearings, the chief and director of public safety decided Spann should be fired.
Okay, I agree with the firing on that one because he didn't commit a crime. He just committed an indiscretion and basically abused his power on the clock, but it was a consensual interaction. But the other guy should have gone to jail.
Does this worry you that people seeing this will be concerned about the professionalism of your officers?
I don't want them to be concerned. With any agency, when you have 2,000 plus employees, there's going to be a couple of people that may do things that are not best for the agency or that may exceed even to criminal conduct. But the majority of our officers are out here doing some phenomenal work, have great relationships with our community.
That's a lie. According to their Google review page or their Facebook review page, that's a lie. The majority of the people, and this is on a scale of 5, 2.4 out of 5. The majority of people are absolutely not happy with the Columbus Police Department. These aren't rare incidents. Stuff like this happens all the time, not just in the Columbus Police Department, but in police departments all across the country. We don't have a few bad apples spoiling the whole bunch. We have a whole bunch of apples and the entire bushel is corrupted. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, grab a hard-hitting conversation starting shirt, become a channel member, but more importantly, know what your rights are, hold cops accountable, and always film the police. I will see you in the next video.